Hi, my name is Julie, the girl next doors who loves making pottery and just recording things in life. And welcome to China! But not just anywhere. I'm in the legendary capital of Chinese porcelain, Jingdezhen. This time, I have a pretty specific goal, which is to level up my throwing skills. I want to challenge myself to throw bigger and bolder pieces. And let me tell you that I struggled for some times to find the right place to learn. But after speaking with different organisms, one recommended me to apply for this one, Master Zhan Shaolin Ceramic Training Center. It's known for its traditional and rigorous rope throwing courses. The founder, Master Zhan, is a Chinese national and certified master of rope throwing. He has trained numerous apprentices over the years. In fact, I learned that some founders of other studios were once his students, which gives you a good sense of the level of training you can get here. I knew I wanted to systematically learn how to throw larger pieces, which is exactly why I choose to go there. So here we go for a 2-week apprenticeship. I can't wait to share this journey with you. So without further ado, let's get into it. I went in early June, so it was starting to get hot, but still bearable. Much better than 2 years ago when I went in July. That time it was so hot and humid. The studio is pretty spacious. You're not crammed next to each other, which is a relief. What's different though is that the wheel is set quite low, so you're seated higher up and you need to place steps or blocks under each foot. But I felt that in that way, you can easily rest your elbows on your tights and really use your upper body strength to center the clay and throw more efficiently. I'm definitely going to set things up the same way when I get back because my back didn't hurt nearly as much when I stand up after being in this position for hours. Another good thing was that during this period, there weren't many students around, which was really great because the apprentices in charge of us could practically give us one-on-one instruction, and you really learn faster when someone's watching you doing the movements and corrects you on the spot. Jingdezhen has its own traditional method for throwing larger pieces, and it's impressively efficient. You can throw a big jar in just a few steps once you get the hang of it. The head trainer was born in 2000, yeah, that stings a bit, and he's incredibly talented. He can throw a moon jar under 10 minutes, he centers 5 kilos of clay, and under a minute pulls 2 to 4 times and then shape the form effortlessly just using a single tool, a sewing blade. Can you believe this? A sewing blade. I was like, okay. It's just mind-blowing. He told me that once you've truly mastered throwing, that's all you need. All the other tools that I was using are just for show. I was low-key ashamed. Honestly, I don't think I'll be able to do that even after years of practice. It really takes throwing the same form every day for a month, maybe a full year, to get that kind of muscle memory. He told me that at this point, he doesn't need to give it a second thought. His hands just know what to do. And watching him throwing is such a pleasure. It's a sight for sore eyes. And everything looks so easy and fluid. It's just a real shame I didn't take the time to film his demonstrations. And you have to know that pretty much all the other apprentices in the studio are just as efficient. Anyway, the whole experience was so exciting, but also exhausting and starving. I stayed in an Airbnb just a 3-minute walk from the studio, which was super convenient even though I was never on time. The only downside was the mattress because Chinese mattresses can be really firm and it was a bit too hard for me. But you know what I love the most in China? Food delivery. Jingdezhen is located in the Jiangxi province, and the food here is known to be really spicy, to the point where they even add chilies and stir-fried vegetables. So don't say I didn't warn you about this. But that wasn't a big deal for me because I love spicy food. The studio also offered free lunch, which usually included rice, 3 dishes, and a soup. And honestly, it was pretty sumptuous if you ask me. It was also super convenient because I didn't have to spend 30 minutes scrolling through delivery apps trying to decide what to eat, which can get really overwhelming.
And I love spicy food.
We also had a small break after lunch, and sometimes I took that time to explore around. I discovered that the center was actually in the Sambal district, somewhere I didn't have the time to visit last time I was here. It's a very touristic area and it was pretty hard to get the shot. It was raining and I was being eaten up by the mosquitoes. Jingdezhen is a pretty quiet town, and everything here revolves around ceramics. It's home to one of the most well-known ceramic universities and the largest ceramic museum in China. It was such a refreshing change from the hustle and bustle of Paris. I took the time to walk around, appreciate the local life and scenery. It was incredibly calming, and just watching daily life unfold, paying attention to the flowers, the trees, the little details, and just being truly aware of my surroundings felt grounding. Sometimes we're in such a rush that we forget to notice the small things, the ones that actually make up life, and that really is a shame. Anyways, no more slacking, let's get back to the apprenticeship. Being here reminds me why I fell in love with pottery. It's slow, grounding, full of history, and full of failure. Not gonna lie, 2 weeks is pretty short to learn the skills. Knowing that it's been 5 months since I've learned something, so it took me some time to familiarize with the movements again. My hands were so sour after the first day, but what I love about this system is that you're locked in this zone mode. There is so much clay to work with, to play with. You just grab these big chunks, slam them onto the wheel head and keep training over and over again. You throw until you get past each one, and then you do it all again, just on repeat. And you just need to focus on one thing and throw for the whole day. If I had more time, I will definitely stay longer to enhance my skills, try more firing techniques, visit more unique ceramic studios, make more ceramic friends, eat more good food, and so much more. I'm pretty satisfied with the training I received there. I'm still not at the point where I can consistently create well-formed shapes, but I'll keep practicing and improving, and I believe I'll be able to do so in the near future. Also, Jingdezhen has its own specific techniques for throwing both small and large pieces, so it takes time to adjust and relearn certain movements. The lead trainer told me that one of the hardest part is actually unlearning the habits and incorrect movements you've picked up over time. That kind of muscle memory can be tough to break, especially when your body is used to doing things the wrong way on the wheel. I really got a hard time learning how to open the clay with this amount, and also how to drill deeper with my hand to make the base without making the clay wiggles. Just a lot of details that I need to be careful of at the same time. But the good point is that I know what is wrong and where I'm lacking, so now I just need to train toward that. And now you can appreciate some moments where you can see me fail. This was really painful.
Inside here is actually a really beautiful ceramic studio. It's like he got a gorgeous garden, but it's closed to the public. I actually went inside once thanks to this friend. She's so talented, crazy. This is actually her cat. And here you have more cats and more cats. Today is my last day here and we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to see a kunshou firing, which is supposed to be a firing that happens in the ground. I actually never heard of this, so I'm super excited to explore and discover this.
We hopped on our electric bikes and headed out. It honestly felt like being back in school. You know, that feeling when class is finally over and you get to hang out with your friends doing something all of you love together. For a moment, I felt 18 again. I got a bit sidetracked, so let's get back on track. It was really interesting to learn about this type of firing, and honestly, I don't really know how this is called. In Jingdezhen, I only worked with gas kilns, and in Paris, I only have access to an electric kiln. So this was a completely new approach for me. The demonstration was led by a ceramicist based in Spain, which is an acquaintance of one of the girls in the group, and I found out that she actually does this kind of firing right in her backyard. That really put into perspective the kind of resources we have access to in Europe, especially in big cities. And my friend mentioned that much of her work is used for interior design rather than functional tableware. I'm guessing that's because this type of firing doesn't reach a high enough temperature for food safety. I don't really know. Either way, it's not like I'd be able to do this kind of firing myself anytime soon, but it was still great to expand my general knowledge. On my last day there, I thought I'd just leave quietly, not on a high note or anything special. But then Tang Tang, one of the girls in the group, invited us over for dinner. Also, her and I trained in the same center 2 years ago, so yeah, the world is just so small. She lives in the Shanghu area, which was where I stayed 2 years ago, and this part of the city is the real hub of gas kilns and home to a lot of new ceramic studios opened by young, aspiring artists and craftsmen like me. It felt so refreshing to be back there, even a bit nostalgic. She's an amazing cook, and I'm really glad we got to enjoy that final meal together. I love that because for us Chinese people, sharing a meal is one of the most meaningful ways we spend quality time together. Nothing brings people closer than a hot, lovely home-cooked meal. It lifts the spirit and brings everyone together. And I also got to eat from a handmade bowl that she got in her house. I don't remember if she made it or she bought it. But anyways, just to say that this is the real charm of integrating handcrafted work into your daily life. I felt genuinely inspired while eating from it. I could sense the energy, the care, the vibe that went into making the piece. It reminded me why I'm drawn to this path in the first place, and it motivated me even more to keep going. And it was such a meaningful way to end the trip, sharing food, laughter, and that feeling of togetherness. That simple moment of conviviality really made the goodbye feel full rather than empty. What I never imagined during this trip is that I will regret to leave this place, and more than anything else, its people. Long story short, I went there thinking that everything will be fine alone because I love being by myself, this great solitude, and I appreciate my own company. But I was wrong because life had other plans for me. I met amazing people and I feel deeply sad to leave them, leave this place where we met, share the same interests, humor, visions, and so much more. I never thought once, for real, that I will feel heartbroken to leave this place. At some point, I just didn't want to leave the country at all. And once more, life taught me a very different and important lesson. Nothing is predictable, nothing goes as planned. Just say yes, and you'll figure it out later. This time, I learned that human interactions are so rare and precious, even more at my age. Little reminder, I'm in my late 20s. In the first place, rare that during this period of time, all of us were there, having applied to the same apprenticeship. And second, very precious because we just weirdly got along and shared so many fun stories and unforgettable moments. So thanks Yanni for speaking to me on my first day to enjoy lunch with you. Thanks Jojo for sharing amazing ceramic studios where I will never think I could have access on my own. Thank you Liang Lao Shi for laughing along my sassy humor. Thank you Ingqi for feeding me all this great food.
It's really the end this time. Let's go.
Thank you Lingjie for sharing your amazing tea. Thanks Tang Tang for the delicious home-cooked meal on my last day. Thank you Xiao Jiang for all the throwing tips. Thanks to all the people in the training center for their guidance. And lastly, thanks to me for allowing myself to go back there, saying yes, giving myself a chance to experience everything that life has to offer. Really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. Sincerely, Julie.